Turn the clock back 2.5 years, and Arsenal Academy product Emile Smith Rowe was a key player. He was even dubbed the Croydon De Bruyne. I don't think anybody's ever called Emile Smith Rowe the Croydon De Bruyne. But talkSPORT understands he's a tugger for Palace and Fulham. The Gunners ready to sell if an offer reaches their valuation of £30 million. Look, he's a young man who's got massive potential. Injuries and then the progression of the Arsenal team just haven't helped him.
No, it hasn't. I looked at him, he reminded me of so much Mace. The way he glided through games and everything, the way he sort of moved, reminded me of...
And I tell you, that is high praise, because Merce was a player.
Oh, absolutely. You looked and what Mayor's done on a football, but this is what Emile Smith Rowe could do. Was he actually a striker, or was he a number 10, or he could play right, could play left? I was looked at him and I thought, my goodness, you've got so much potential. And getting this injury, you're quite right, just what you said. His injury, he was a long time out of football, and you come back and you're trying to make your way, and Arsenal had moved on then. With Mikel Arteta, they moved on with the players. They made, and Declan Rice coming in, who I think is a fantastic footballer, great attitude, and it just looked as though Arsenal were going another direction. He needs to move on, and I think that is hard to sort of say that. Look, as he's Arsenal through and through, but I think if he wants to play more football, he just has to move on.
Yeah, look, he's still just 23, and I think there'll be plenty of clubs interested in him as well, not just Palace and Fulham. Couple of one more name to throw into the hat for the next England manager. Hi, Jeff, says Steve from Norwich. Another name to throw into the hat, Alan Shearer. Thoughts?
No.
Okay. Do you want to reconsider it all?
No.
Okay, Neil says, morning gents, from a Scotland fan, loving listening to the clowns blaming Jude and Gareth.
Who are we going to blame?
Yeah.
And the rest of them.
Keep going, English fans. The rest of the UK are absolutely loving it. Thank you, Neil. Somebody else who's probably loving it.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it, because so did Shebahn. She was out with the Scotland team. She's back with us now.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Didn't have time to...
Was out
another ago. It truly does. From when Scotland left after the group stages, that feels like such a long time ago. Listen, it was fun when it lasted. We had a good time.
Being in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, that's just like being in Scotland, isn't it?
It rained like that. It was freezing cold as well, Jeff, but it was Loch Lomond on steroids. It was stunning, absolutely stunning. A nice part of the world. So thanks, Steve Clark, for taking us there. I will say that. I want to talk to you about Manchester United, because they had a pre-season friendly yesterday against Rosenborg. They were beaten 1-0 in injury time. A mixed squad. Rashford was there, Casemiro, Mason Mount started, like I say, lost in injury time. Erik Ten Hag spoke to the media afterwards, and he criticised already the level of the players' performance. Here you go.
In top football, you have to achieve much higher standards. Starts with any individual. Make sure you are fit. Yeah, I know we can't be match fit in this moment. Therefore, you need those games. I know we play against an opponent. They are in the league. Yeah. They have a much higher fitness level. But still, we are Man United, and players from Man United, team from Man United should perform better.
Here we are then, looking ahead to next season and what will happen for Manchester United. But driving standards, how does Erik Ten Hag do that and really execute it next season?
Well, for me, I like it. It was difficult having Paul Pogba, Ronaldo there, having to deal with them. I thought he did it very well. I think he's going to have a hard season. I think his position now at Manchester United reminds me of Liverpool, and how we changed managers, Brendan Rodgers being there, and they got rid of two of Brendan Rodgers' coaches, and hence that's exactly what's happened at Manchester United. And you go, well, surely the coaches are doing what Ten Hag tells them to do. They've got rid of them. To me, he's dead man walking. Right. Because have they got somebody else in mind? And we know that they were looking at so many other managers quite openly. And I thought it was disrespectful to Ten Hag. And I thought he'd done a really good job. And then winning the FA Cup, just made things more difficult for the hierarchy at Manchester United. But for Erik, I think some of his frustrations comes out in that interview because it's a pre-season game. It's your first one. They're halfway through the season in Norway, and you're not going to get for him to criticise early on. I just thought, is that maybe a bit of frustration coming out in you? But I do worry for him because moving your coaches on and trying to pin the blame on them for your demise, I think, is extremely harsh. To me, he's a dead man walking.
He may be. He may be, but at this stage of the season, everyone's looking for a headline about Manchester United, and frankly, some of the headlines are nonsense. Because if you looked at their lineup, the names were involved, but they also in their starting lineup: Vitek, Fish, Johnny Evans, Murray, Mejbri, Williams, Wheatley, Casemiro, who's not going to be part of he's not going to be a major part of their plans next season. So it was a Manchester United kids team.
It is, Jeff, and that's what you do. I've been here,
but it's irrelevant how they'll do this season.
That's
totally
what I'm
irrelevant.
saying. And Erik shouldn't sort of be getting doing things like that because this is your first game.
It's pre-season.
Exactly.
Irrelevant come the start of the season.
That's why I thought the frustration coming out in him, and I think it's going to be hard for him because I think he's done a good job at Manchester United trying to deal with that football club.
Got my eyes on Jadon Sancho back in Carrington at training after positive talks. How will he do next season? Will he still be there? Also, Marcus Rashford. Can he turn it around? And how important is it that they have a good window this summer?
I can't get over this. I'm listening on Sky and they're saying, oh, wow, I didn't think this would ever happen. Jadon Sancho coming back in. It's been embraced. Of course they're going to. This fella's worth a lot of money to Manchester United. He's not going to... But you can't go, oh, no, we don't really want him. And then his fee's going to be 20 million when he's worth 40 or 50 million.
But is this a sign of the future? To have Jadon Sancho back at Manchester United, is that telling of Erik ten Hag's future, considering of that very public fallout?
Yeah, well, possibly in some respects. I'm sure that, if there's nobody in for Sancho, nobody willing to offer the right money, Jadon Sancho will just sit it out until Erik ten Hag has gone. And hopefully the next manager will feel that he is part of the squad and he'll be much more involved. I've seen it happen with players many times before now, where they just wait for the manager to go so they can re-establish themselves. But as far as if Manchester United really are going to have a rebuilding, and it does appear they're going to, they want a decent price for Jadon Sancho and probably the same thing for Marcus Rashford as well.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, guys.
By the way, I've got another great suggestion for the England manager's job. Daniel, regular contributor, Spurs fan. He says, morning lads, another person for the England job is Simon Jordan, with Gabby as his assistant. Daniel, you're miles off it.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.